I'm Ashley with Velocity Lee Summit. We're a nonprofit that most of you might know about here in Lee Summit, helping startups and entrepreneurs. And I've got Joe Mullins with UCM. He's their consultant in workforce and professional education. And then I've got Jeff Danley, the Director of Innovation with VMLY&R. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to Joe, I think, first, and then I'll go on mute as well.
Yeah, well, thank you, Ashley. Can you guys hear me okay? Had some technical issues this morning. Well, we want to welcome everyone here. We wanted to try to give a brief virtual launch of our mixed reality studio. During this time of COVID, it's been a little bit challenging. So really for the next hour, Jeff Danley and I are going to kind of walk you through what the mixed reality studio is. And then Jeff's going to kind of walk through what are some of the applications and some of the things going on. And then I'll let Jeff kind of explain that as we go forward. So at the end, we can open it up for questions. And then our contact information is at the end of the presentation. So that you guys can contact us if you have some questions going forward. Next slide, please, Jeff. So why a mixed reality studio? And really what really transpired when I looked at this is I was looking at what are the new technologies that are coming through in the future that really related more to training and workforce development and talent development. And so that's how I kind of looked at it. And so we looked at what are some of the virtual reality equipment and augmented reality equipment that would help us get there. So we are actively working on how do we develop apps that help people get trained better. It's more an immersive technology. And as COVID has brought to our attention, a lot of the future of meetings and training is going to be from a distance. So I think it's going to be the future where you just put on a headset somewhere in the country and you got 20 other people with headsets in other parts of the country, and they are looking at how they can get trained and so on. So we're looking at how we can utilize this technology for that. As it relates to school and teachers, what we also wanted to do is give the teachers and faculty and students access to technology that would help them start to utilize it in classroom development, degree development, industry certifications, and so on. So that's kind of why we built the Mixed Reality Studio. And hopefully as we go through, you'll kind of see some of the benefits of what we think is the future in VR and AR. Next slide, please. So really the equipment we have right now is a variety of different equipment. We have Dell workstations. We have the HTC Vives, which are VR headsets. We have the Oculus Quest headsets, which are VR. We also have some of the more cutting edge augmented reality headsets, which is the Microsoft HoloLens 2, the Magic Leap 2 glasses. And then we're looking at possibly getting the HP Reverb GTs in as well. So we have a lot of different capacity in the lab, and students, faculty, and businesses can come in, utilize the equipment, build their apps on a variety of different headset platforms. Next slide. So here's really what the Mixed Reality Studio room looks like. We just were able to get some pictures in for that. So we have the 4 workstations in here. In our building, if you've never been out to the Missouri Innovations campus, we have about 120,000 square feet. We're a technology STEM-related building. And so we had the 4 workstations, and you can take those stations anywhere in the building and utilize the equipment in there. So next slide, it gives us a little bit more detail of the pictures. So here's let's look at the room in a little bit more detail. We also have the 4 workstations, and inside those 4 workstations, you'll see a variety of different equipment. So next slide, which shows the equipment. So on this table kind of shows you a little bit of the equipment we have going forward that we're starting with. We're always adding on it. So you can see the HoloLens, the Oculus Quest, the Leap glasses, and then the HTC Vive in the picture to the right. We're also looking to update those into wireless versus attached headsets as well. Next slide. So really, who's our audience? Really, when we built this, our audience was for the students, faculty, and then the entrepreneurs and companies that want to utilize the headsets and then work with faculty and work with students to maybe help develop their applications in the real world. So that's why we kind of partnered with Velocity Elite Summit. Velocity Elite Summit is the entrepreneur arm of this Elite Summit in Eastern Jackson County. So as entrepreneurs come through the door, they can sign up for Velocity services and then utilize our equipment as well, and then get some support services through Velocity, be it mentoring, business development, and or access to projects, maybe some small business grants and so on. Next slide. So these are really some of the experiences that you would have in the mixed reality studio. So we're looking at application and solution development. We're looking at workshops, training, and virtual reality challenges. We are all actually in the process of working with KC Digital Drive and having a virtual reality challenge here in the spring. And with that comes some prize monies and so on. I think we'll have more announcements on that in the next couple of weeks. But we're looking at speaker symposiums on the topics. And Jeff's kind of one of the experts. He's going to show you just a little bit of what's going on in the VR, AR world. And then we're also looking at building industry certifications in this area. And then we've already talked to a lot of our department heads and faculty in how we incorporate VR and AR into some of our degree programs and minor programs, and they're very excited about that. We're also looking at student projects, and then we're also looking at how do we work with companies, startups that have some kind of research they want to do or application development they want to do. We're also working with consulting firms out of Florida and the East Coast in developing training that was related to healthcare or aviation, just to name a couple of the industry silos we're looking at. Next slide. So here we are working with the faculty and so on. These are the areas that I kind of mentioned earlier that we're looking at building degrees and minors and certificates in. And so you can kind of see those. Some are more traditional, like game development, interactive design, aviation, animations. So some of those things are what we're looking at. How do we use this technology in these areas? And then how do we expand on it to help students get the technology they need to get the jobs of the future? Next steps, next slide, please. So here I'm going to hand it off to Jeff Danley. Jeff, do you want to kind of introduce yourself and let them know what you're going to take them through?
Yeah, sure. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeff Danley, and I am Director of Innovation at VML Y&R. So we are a digital agency based here in Kansas City. We've got offices around the world. We've got clients around the world. We're working with companies like Wendy's and Ford and Pfizer, and just our client list really spans across so many different verticals. And what's really exciting about these mixed reality spaces for me is seeing how we can apply the technology in all of these different verticals. And what Joe has put together at UCM is really, it's one of the most advanced mixed reality labs that I've seen. And I travel all over the place, and Facebook's got an amazing Oculus set up, and their whole Facebook reality labs. Magic Leap is really doing some amazing work in augmented reality. But as I travel around the country and go to these technology partners, you see a sliver of technology in one place or another, and Joe's really brought all of that together here at UCM. So I'm really excited to see how we can apply these different technologies to different business challenges that we have here in the Kansas City area. I think the opportunity to innovate with these technologies it's such a fantastic opportunity right now. It's such a unique point in time with technologies like 5G coming out, and the advancements that we're seeing with this tech. So for entrepreneurs with new ideas, the student population, I'm really excited to see what the students can do with this technology. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into each of the primary areas that we've got technology for, that being virtual reality and augmented reality. And I've got a couple videos. Hopefully the videos play well. I know sometimes trying to broadcast these videos over Zoom, it gets a little bit sketchy, but I just wanted to show how we at VML have used this technology with some of our clients. And it's not all like we have built games, but I think a lot of people assume virtual reality and augmented reality are all about gaming. And it's, we can go a lot deeper than that and really solve some interesting challenges. So we're going to start with virtual reality. I threw this slide in because I love this quote from Mark Zuckerberg. Virtual reality was once the dream of science fiction, but the internet was also once a dream, and so were computers and smartphones. And Zuckerberg, I've got a video later in this presentation that shows what Zuckerberg's been up to, and it's really fantastic. I feel like Facebook is really leading a significant evolution in how we are all going to use VR in the future. So more on that here in a few slides. I'm not going to read through all the text here. This gets pretty wordy, but what we're going to see here is a virtual reality experience that we created for Gatorade. And what they wanted to do was educate high school teen athletes on the effects of dehydration. So we worked with the sports science team at Gatorade to understand all of the effects of being dehydrated. And what we were able to do with virtual reality was we could put these teen athletes into a VR experience and let them feel what it's like to be dehydrated. And the ultimate goal is help educate them on the effects of dehydration in a VR experience, so that when they're actually out on the field, they can recognize those effects and realize that they need to rehydrate before they're dehydrated. Okay, so fingers crossed. I'm going to hit play on this next slide. And I hope this video plays.
Stuff Gatorade. Sports is big. High school football players know Gatorade, but many know very little about the warning signs of dehydration or how it affects their performance. But how do you get a bunch of teens to pay attention to a science lesson?
think they're having trouble hearing Jeff.
I don't know if it's just on my end, but it's real choppy with no audio, Jeff.
Their experiences. Oh, dude, it's like my
Maybe if you, Jeff, if you want to send that link, it looked like it was a YouTube video,
Yes.
then maybe people can check it out after.
Okay. Did the video, was it audio issues or audio and video?
Both, yeah, it was stop motion animation and not really any
Got
audio.
it. Okay. Well, yeah, we can follow up with links. All of these videos are out on YouTube. So I'll grab the links to those and we can post those as a follow-up.
Zoom needs to work on that. That's a Zoom thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was my concern with Zoom. I don't know. Anyway, not a problem. Not a problem. We will carry on here. So virtual reality, before I move forward here with augmented reality, virtual reality, if you've not experienced it lately, it's a really amazing, like really immersive experience. And you put the headset on, and when you look up, you see the sky, you look down, you see the ground, and you are fully in that virtual experience. And the content in that experience can be anything from, it can be designed in some of the game design tools, such as Unity, which can get very realistic also. And it could also be like a 360 video, right? So, you could have an experience where someone steps onto a stage in a big auditorium and they see what appears to be a live view of their environment. So that's really interesting. I wanted to clarify that before getting into augmented reality, because augmented reality is really it's augmenting our real world physical experience with augmented digital objects, right? So like augmented reality shopping, there's several applications now. I know there's versions of the Amazon app where you can, place a chair in your living room, right? And you can see what that chair would look like. Sherwin-Williams has a paint application where you can, through the lens of your phone, you can look at your room and you can tap the wall to apply that paint color to your wall to see if you like it. So that's really the primary difference is virtual reality. It's a fully immersive experience that you step into, and augmented reality is you are putting these augmented digital objects in your physical space. And three of the primary types of augmented reality interactions that exist in the world today are social media. So we've probably all seen the Snapchat filters or the Instagram filters that, they put cat ears on you or whatever it might be. So there's that. There's print media. So this could be, I've seen some movie posters that are enabled with augmented reality, where when you point your camera at that movie poster, that poster then comes to life on the screen of your phone. And then there's interactive digital objects. So again, these interactive digital objects, you can bring these digital assets into your real world. So that could be like the IKEA app. You can place a piece of furniture in your living room. Or the Sherwin-Williams app, where you can actually apply a paint color to your wall. So there's I think there's tremendous opportunity to use those types of applications in a variety of different businesses. Like I said, retail, shopping, choosing paint colors, gaming. There's endless opportunities. So I've got, I don't know how these videos are going to play. Ashley, let me know if this next video does not show up well, and I'll skip it and we can send out a link.
Are you playing? Yeah, are you playing it through the presentation?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. The only other thing we could try would be playing it through YouTube and sharing that link, but you'd have to share it to.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, it's a thing.
Yeah, I've got the videos downloaded, so it should show up better this way. We'll see. Just give me a signal. I can see your image up here, so let me know and I'll stop the video.
Okay.
So this first one, I didn't want to go too heavy on Gatorade. We're not actually working with Gatorade currently, but this was just amazing work that our team put together, and really exciting and cutting edge at the time. This one, I believe we did this in 2016 with Gatorade, and they came to us with a challenge for the Super Bowl. They wanted us to create an ad for the Super Bowl, but any of us that work in client services and know how clients are with their budgets, they wanted us to deliver the world and didn't really want to. They didn't have a significant budget for the project, so we were really scratching our heads, thinking like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Creating an ad for the Super Bowl costs millions of dollars for a 30-second clip, and that. We had to find a different plan. So at the time, Snapchat had just released their developer kit to create filters for social media. And so that's what we put together. I'll see if this video plays. If the video doesn't play, then we can talk about it afterwards.
What started as a spontaneous Super Bowl moment 30 years ago has grown into an iconic symbol of victory that has become a part of American pop culture. And every year on Super Bowl Sunday, the Gatorade dunk is viewed by millions, but only experienced by a select few. This year, we not only wanted to let every fan see the dunk, but experience it for themselves. So we created an augmented reality experience that leveraged the native lens functionality and facial recognition of Snapchat. Went live the day of the Super Bowl and quickly spread across all social channels. Just like some big game broadcast spots, soon celebrities, dogs, and even babies got in on the action. And by the time the actual Gatorade dunk happened at the end of the game, our augmented dunk was seen by more people than the Super Bowl itself. With over 165 million views, 8 million user-generated videos, it was the biggest ad of the Super Bowl. It never even appeared on TV.
Did that video play? Okay.
It played better, but it was still a little choppy.
Got it. Okay. So that one, as you hopefully heard there at the end of the video, so that commercial, if you will, that we put together was seen by more viewers online than people actually watch the Super Bowl, right? So we felt that one was extremely effective. We're really proud of that. Again, at the time, that was technology that had just been released, so this whole idea of filters was relatively new. But again, I wanted to show that example because I think there's this perception that some of these filters on social media, they're just fun and gimmicky for sharing goofy pictures. But that one, that really hit home with fans of the Super Bowl. Everyone wants to experience that Gatorade dunk, and it was really interesting to see, other athletes and Hollywood actors that were sharing out their images and videos from that. So that was really cool. This one, again, you can see here, on this slide. This goes back to November 2014. So we've been doing augmented reality for quite some time. We've actually got a couple that are older than this, but I wanted to show this one because this, I believe everyone can still experience this down at Union Station. When you walk in, actually over by Pierpont's, there's a large TV that we've kind of wrapped so it looks like a smartphone on the wall, and it's showing a highlight reel from this, and it kind of walks you through how to experience it. But so we worked with Union Station for their 100-year anniversary, and there's so much history at that happened at Union Station, and we wanted to bring that to life, to let people see and experience what had happened around Union Station. So rather than walking around and seeing a picture on the wall and reading about what happened at that location, like Harry Truman delivered a speech at Union Station, and I'm sure that place is marked and there's information on the wall. But what we did was we found an actor, an impersonator that could come in and read a script, and we dressed him up. He looked just like Harry Truman, and he delivered this speech, and we filmed that with green screen. And then from a technology perspective, we went into Union Station and we used beacons, so Bluetooth beacons, to identify very precise locations around the inside of Union Station. So when you've got the app open, you can walk to these different locations and it will light up. The app will light up and let you know what happened there. And you can hit play, and I'm sorry, it's not play. You can activate the experience through the app. And for example, the Harry Truman area, when you look through the lens of your phone, Harry Truman appears. And when you're looking through your phone, it looks like he's standing right in front of you and he's delivering the speech. And it's really cool. There's hopefully, I'll tell you what, I'm actually going to skip this video because it's longer and I don't think the quality is going to be as good as the last one. So we'll send a link out to it. But we had a lot of news and press coverage on this one. And I know, like, even at the time, Sly James was mayor of Kansas City. And there's footage of him. He actually stepped into the video that someone was filming. So you see Sly James standing next to Harry Truman as he's delivering the speech. So it was really cool. All of the green screen filming, you can see it here on the left side of the screen. There's these gangsters out in front of Union Station. So we went, and we filmed. We had an old school car, and we brought in these actors and filmed the scene of this old mobster shootout that went down in front of Union Station. So you can see that. You can see the soldiers getting on the train, leaving for war. There's some really, really impactful experiences that you can watch in augmented reality at Union Station. So again, just to reiterate, one of the things that's really exciting about this is the combination of technology. So we brought together augmented reality with precision location information through the Bluetooth beacons and brought that to life in a mobile application. That's the kind of thing I'm really excited to see local entrepreneurs and students in particular just think out of the box and think, how do we leverage new technologies to bring different experiences to life through augmented reality and virtual reality. Okay, so we're going to skip this video.
Something about.
So new business models. I wanted to throw this out there because I know people, when they hear augmented reality, they think video games, and probably the most popular augmented reality game is Pokemon Go. And it has been for 4 years. And I'm quite surprised we have not seen other companies leverage augmented reality and new technology in the way that Pokemon Go has. Similar to what we did with Union Station, where we used the Bluetooth beacons for location information, Pokemon Go uses the GPS coordinates, and they can place these digital Pokemon creatures, and then you on your mobile phone, you can see them, you can click to interact with them and catch them and do different things. But what's fascinating is the business model that the game publisher Niantic, this business model they've created. So what you're seeing here on the screen is this point of interaction. It's a Pokemon Go gym. And in the game, you see these gyms. There's one at Bridge Space in downtown Lee Summit where we have a lot of our velocity events. But with Sprint and let's see, Starbucks and Baskin Robbins did something over the summer. They're constantly bringing on board new corporate sponsors in the game, but Sprint has a physical location, their physical store, and they pay for in-game promotion of their physical store. So it's just, again, from a business model perspective, it's kind of mind-blowing to think that, you know, Sprint has that location. They've got their shop set up there, but now to make that specific physical location light up in the game, now they have to go pay Niantic to have their logo and some information and promotions and whatnot displayed in the game. So again, I think it's a really interesting model. I'm pretty excited about the future of augmented reality. We'll see here in just a second. Yeah, here we go. So the future of augmented reality is I believe it's coming to us through AR enabled glasses. So these are some of the companies that are working on augmented reality glasses: Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, Sony, Magic Leap, and Google. So what's going to happen is we will have these glasses that look like the glasses I'm wearing, just regular reading glasses, right? But they will have technology embedded in them that will display digital overlays on specific objects around me, right? So think about walking through Times Square, and today everyone's blasted with all of the same signs and billboards and information. And potentially in the future, you could walk through an area like that and you could see ads that are customized for you, only the ones that are relevant that you want to see. Or maybe you don't want to see ads, right? So you turn it off. But I think we'll start to see experiences like that. I believe that buildings are going to be just a blank canvas for a digital overlay, right? So you might have a business, and on the outside of your building, maybe you just want that brick overlay, or maybe you want it to look different. Maybe you know, instead of putting a neon sign on the front of your building, you put a digital sign on the front of your building that's got some information, and you could target specific audiences with different messages. So I'm pretty excited about that. I can't wait to see how that comes to fruition. So this next slide, I know this video is not great quality either, so we'll send out a link to this. But this is, I mentioned this slide earlier in the presentation with Facebook. So Mark Zuckerberg is creating a virtual universe that anyone will be able to go into and create their own VR world, right? If you've seen the movie Ready Player One, that, like, I'm not kidding at all, that is exactly what Zuckerberg is building. He's building the universe that companies or individuals or anyone can go into and create these experiences. And Facebook wants these experiences to be shared socially, right? So I was at the Oculus Connect event last November, and that's when they unveiled, they kind of gave everyone a preview of, it's called Facebook Horizon. And one of the experiences they showed was this guy that works at Facebook and his father sitting on the couch virtually. Like, they recreated their virtual home, and the father and son were on different parts of the country, right? And they came together virtually, and there was a virtual TV on the wall, but they were broadcasting a live NBA game onto that TV. So this father and son could sit on the virtual couch and see each other's avatars that looked very similar to their physical appearance, and they could sit there and watch the basketball game together. So it's really fascinating. I jumped into a Facebook Horizon private event last night. They're still testing a lot of this functionality, but it was an interactive game, and it was basically laser tag, and it's just wild to go into these virtual worlds and you're running around playing laser tag and you hear people across the map, and there's no bots, there's no AI in the game. These are all real people that are all running around and shooting these laser beams at one another. I think it's just fascinating. If you have a chance to watch the first 15 minutes of the movie Ready Player One, that's where they walk through and they explain what the Oasis is in the movie. And the Oasis is basically what Zuckerberg's creating, and he's named it Horizon. So that's a little bit of the future that I'm seeing come together with augmented reality with the glasses and the new experiences we'll see there, and then virtual reality. I'm really excited about what Facebook's doing, and you know, with the Oculus headsets and the HTC Vive that Joe's got out at UCM. I think it's just going to be fascinating to see what we can create with this equipment. Okay, so yeah, I skipped that video. We'll send out links to all of the videos here, and I know I think I ran over a little bit on time anyway. So I'm going to kick it back to you, Joe. If you want to walk through how people can access all of this fantastic equipment we've got.
Thanks, Jeff. And I think even through the difficult technical issues we have, you kind of get a sense of some of the technology that's been used in the past, some of the things coming, and then what we're looking forward to seeing developed here in the Kansas City area. So how does that, since this is Entrepreneurship Week, how does an entrepreneur access this? And so really we're kind of partnering with Velocity Lease Summit on those entrepreneurs that kind of want to take advantage of it. And then we're looking at a small monthly fee to gain access to the studio and then the Velocity services as well. Excuse me. And so right now, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm kind of dealing with some health issues, but monthly fee, and we're looking at probably around $300. That includes credits towards hours in using the equipment in the lab, plus accessing services at Velocity. And so right now, we just kind of wanted to, for this event, throw out what we're doing over here in the Mixed Reality Studio, what some of the equipment is, what are some of the options you can have. And once, you know, even though we have COVID, if you want to come out as individuals and just kind of look at some of the equipment and so on, get with me and we can kind of set that up. We are having people access the building, but not in large groups. So Velocity Lease Summit, just so you kind of know what Velocity Lease Summit offers on top of what we offer in the Mixed Reality Studio, is they have digital services. They also provide a lot of pitch events so that entrepreneurs can get some kind of funding, pitch competitions, and so on. And so they get some startup funding through those events. We also have a mentorship program where they have mentors working with businesses all throughout the year. They do have access to some small business grants periodically. They have educational programs that they roll out throughout the year. And then they also provide a professional advisory partners to help in businesses to see where they're at, grow their business, and so on. So through that partnership, we're really looking at how can we help entrepreneurs or startups, give them some support, give them access to equipment, and then see where they can go with it. And so that's really what the Mixed Reality Studio is about from the entrepreneur side. And we just kind of wanted to show you some of the capabilities, some of the things going on in the industry today. And then, so I'll just throw it out for any kind of questions. I thought we had some questions on the chat, Ashley, if not. So next slide.
Did all the work for me there.
Okay, so the next slide just kind of gives you some of our contact information, but we can also open it up for questions right now. And then if there's anything in the chat, we can answer right now.
And
Like
then
I said,
also-
we'll try to get these links to some of these videos to you. I think some of them are fairly cool and can kind of show you, if you're not familiar with VR and AR, what some of the applications are and have been done in the past. So,
And then Jeff, if do you mind if I share the presentation with the participants today?
Yeah, that's fine.
The
Absolutely.
videos live in there, right?
Yes. So it's a large presentation. So, but yeah, that's fine to share it.
Okay, I'll try to share it that way, you guys. So there was a question that we might not have the answer to. Joe, you mentioned cost, but Elaine was wondering the best way to get a decent looking VR project done at a reasonable cost. Will Horizon be the best solution?
oh, Jeff, you got an answer for that?
Yeah. So cost it's really dependent on what the requirements are and what type of environment you're trying to create. So like I said, some VR experiences can be created using a 360 video. So if you've got access to a 360 camera, you could simply record that environment and someone could step into that. If you're looking at recreating like a game experience, or it doesn't even have to be a game experience, you could recreate anything. I mean, you could recreate Arrowhead Stadium if you wanted to, and let someone walk around and navigate the inside of the stadium. But again, that's going to require developers to build that experience, and then you also need creative artists that are working with digital assets that can create the assets for the inside of that experience. So yeah, cost really varies, and then the level of interactivity as well. So that's going to be somewhat of a challenge, or it's not a challenge. It's just it's a cost factor. Facebook Horizon. So Verizon is in a limited beta currently. If you search for Facebook Horizon, you'll find some information and you can apply for access. And so that creating spaces in Horizon right now, to me, it feels a bit like building in Minecraft, right? It's not super high fidelity. It's not realistic looking. It definitely looks like you're inside of a video game, but you can, I mean, that just takes your time. Anyone can go into Horizon and create digital experiences, and then you can open that experience up and let other people come into that. So that might not be a bad place for you to start.
And it sounds like we might need an opportunity to connect young AR VR students or graduates with some of these businesses that don't necessarily want to come in and learn the tech themselves. They just want to pay someone to do it.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, that's a good solution. I think that would definitely be helpful. I didn't think Horizon would probably be at the stage. I'm looking for something that's just more realistic and stitched together, and then to have clients to interact with it. So probably not Horizon, but I just don't know how to start that approach.
Well, who is your target audience is what I'd probably ask first.
They are architects and interior designers. And so I want to create an interior experience. It's just like a showroom, where I can take the showroom to them as opposed to them coming to a showroom. So it's the reverse experience. And for them to be able to walk into the space as opposed to, just showing them materials and designs on video, or I want them to actually have the experience. So I wanted to think about how to go about that.
Well, and Jeff, just watching you in the chat, it sounds like that's some of what you do. If you two want, I could send you into a breakout room to talk more specifics about starting a project for her. I know we have another question from Joyce that says, I'm working on a faculty student research where we need a VR simulation developed to test a specific hypothesis. Would that be something you could do? So I don't know if, oh, I'm sorry, that was Jennifer. Jennifer, I don't know if you mean, would that be something we could do as in the studio, or if that's another question for Jeff. Jeff, it looks like we're getting you some business here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a member of the KC AR/VR meetup. And since COVID, we hadn't had a in-person meeting. So I actually created a VR chat world, and we had a Halloween meeting. So it was like this somewhat of a haunted house with spiders that would attack people and things like that. But it was free. Like I think there was only like a couple bought assets to be able to create the world. So it just really depends on like who your target audience is and how are they going to, if it's just like, oh, I need this virtual world for them to be able to do this at their home versus, that kind of thing. So I added my contact information if anybody wants to email me or telephone or whatever.
Yeah, and a lot of the assets, I know, like back on the interior design question, I think that's a great opportunity to leverage, either solution, augmented reality or virtual reality, and recreating the interior design elements that someone could place in augmented reality. That could certainly be done. That's where you would need to find someone with some creative skills that can go in and create those assets. For several of our projects, we've actually used, there's a website called Turbo Squid, and you can go out and, you can buy a 3D model of anything from a hamburger to a construction hard hat to, potentially drapes and furniture and whatnot. And then you can apply different colors and shading to those to use them in your VR or AR projects. So any of that, again, we've got our contact info on the screen. Feel free to reach out, and I'm happy to connect with you and give you some guidance. And Joe's got the equipment available. We can figure out how, if you don't have the expertise with your business or your startup, we can connect you with other people like Jeff here, who's in the chat, or potentially students out at UCM. We're starting to see more resources pop up, that are working in this space, and that's pretty exciting.
Well, we can do video and editing. I'm a video producer, but and starting a different business, but it's that level of the technology I don't have. So there's parts of the assets we can create, and the other parts of it don't know the technology.
Right. Yeah. The other thing to keep in mind is your audience, and do they have access to the technology? That's traditionally, like for the past few years anyway, that's been one of the big limiting factors particularly with virtual reality. Because you've needed this expensive headset and gear, and that can't run on just any computer or PC. It's got to be a higher end, like a gaming PC. But now today with like Facebook's Oculus product, the Oculus headsets are fantastic, and the new version of that, the Oculus 2, those start at a price of $299. You don't need a PC or anything to connect to that. So that's something that, if you've got a business and you're leveraging, you've got some kind of a mixed reality experience for your customers. If they don't have the equipment, maybe that's something that you provide, you share with them, particularly with an interior design or in a faculty teacher student relationship where students can come in, or your customers can come to your place of business, and they could put that headset on and then visualize that VR experience.
Does anybody else have any other questions? I don't know about, too much about the virtual augmented reality space. So that was one of my questions for you, was what's the biggest difference between virtual and augmented? So I'm glad that you started there. so we can first establish the sky is blue and then learn from there. But I did want to just check with Joe as far as access to, you sort of touched on, obviously with COVID and everything, having issues with getting people in. But if anybody wanted to come and take a look at the space, would they just need to email you and kind of set
Yeah,
that
they just need to email me and we'd get them to have a visit and they can test the equipment out and do whatever else they want to. So yeah, we just can't have large groups in right now. That's
Well, why don't you just do like a photogrammetric scan of all of the equipment and everything, and then they can visit in VR.
There you go.
Okay, Jeff, you can come help me with that.
That's actually not a bad idea. That
Well,
would be good.
I'll help. I'll help. I can do that.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, we, that's kind of why we put this out there is, for the industry to come do and help and participate. So yeah, if you guys have ideas, more than willing to incorporate those. This is not my area of expertise. So, but I just thought about building the studio, getting it out there, giving the Kansas City area some access to the equipment and opportunities and so on. So yeah, they can come in, set up, and then we can also do some other virtual things as well.
Yep, that's where I think we'll see the magic happen. What you've brought to the table, Joe, with all of the equipment and access to equipment, now opening that up to the entrepreneurs and the students and the corporate partners. I think it's going to be fantastic to see what people create.
Well, it's just
Right.
another example of the amazing things that happen when you two get together and work on something. So, really appreciate it.
I will say, there are some other things going on. Like I said, I did mention the augmented reality, virtual reality challenge that KC Digital Drive is putting on with a variety of different groups here in the metro area. We had a meeting on that this week. So there are activities going on. We are part of those, and you can be a part of those as well. But really our goal is to kind of help bring Kansas City into the VR, AR marketplace with some talent, some opportunities and so on. So where that goes, I don't know.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and I am very interested in that. Velocity's doing another pitch at home in December. So I want to talk to you about working with you guys on a pitch event for the AR VR lab too. That'd be fun. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us, and thanks everyone. I'll email out the information and the presentation today, and just stay tuned to Velocity, and we'll keep updating you on what we've got going on around the city in the entrepreneur world. Have a good Friday, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
All right, thank you.